Officers surrounded a Valencia Park home 6 weeks ago, responding to a claim that Marcus Evans threatened a woman with a gun. He came out hands in the air in basketball shorts, no shirt, no shoes. I have no nothing, he said, turned around to show them, sat down, hands still up.
Right here. You're giving me a shot. Why are you going to shoot me?
An officer fired a beanbag at his stomach. Evans collapsed.
Why you shoot me? Marcus, you need to comply with my command. Why you shoot me? Try and run. You will be bit by police cars.
He sat up, hands up. They shot another beanbag, injuring his shin, then released a canine.
Hey, stop! Stop! Stop!
The dog didn't bite. They shot another beanbag. It hit near his groin and released another canine. The dog latched onto his arm, wrenching it back and forth. Evans fell on his back. The dog continued for half a minute before officers got it to release. They never found a gun or booked Evans into jail. According to his lawyer, Dante Pride, he had just joined a construction union. Weeks after the arrest, he still couldn't work or walk, had trouble opening and closing his left hand. A bruised rib made it hard to breathe. Pride says Evans plans to sue.
We're going to ask that the court order SDPD not to allow their dogs to be released on someone on the ground.
Community advocate Tasha Williamson filed excessive force complaints about Evans' arrest with the police, the FBI, and the U.S. Department of Justice.
We are asking Chief Wall to protect us.
San Diego's K-9 unit is big, a few dozen dogs, triple that of a similar-sized city. The unit started in the 80s after a string of suspect and officer deaths. K-9s are less lethal than guns. They're meant to find missing people and evidence and de-escalate dangerous situations. This year, SDPD K-9s have bitten more than 30 people. SDPD data show Black people are 9 times likelier to be bit by K-9s than white people. Chief Scott Wall says they're reviewing Evans' arrest. He says K-9s bite less than 2% of times they're brought out. And the racial disparities?
Our bites are not based off of somebody's color of their skin. Our bites are based off of a person's actions.
A recent change in state law required the department to release 2021 body cam footage of an SDPD sergeant saying a K-9, quote, only likes dark meat.
He only likes dark meat.
He's still on the force. So is Alan Martin. Sources say his K-9 bit Evans. He is yet to confirm. In 2018, he was disciplined for excessive force on someone who spoke Spanish after he told them to speak English. He was transferred to another division, promoted, hired to the K-9 unit, and sent back to the majority Black and Latino neighborhood of Valencia Park.
Except this time with a dog.
Officer John Cochran has been with SDPD for 3 decades. He filed a complaint about Evans' arrest.
Just because you have a call involving a gun don't mean you get to use any force that you want to do.
He points to something called the use of force matrix, how SDPD officers should respond to different situations, including passive resistance.
Refusal to comply with verbal commands and does not convey a threat of physical resistance to an officer or another person, which that's what I believe Marcus Evans was displaying.
For passive resistance, officers should use things like batons and pressure points, not beanbag guns, not K-9s. He says K-9s are also used on people suspected of nonviolent, low-level offenses. Christy Lopez says that's a national pattern. She investigated K-9 units across the country for the U.S. Department of Justice and found they consistently, disproportionately bite Black people.
These are dogs that are bred because of how strong and destructive their bite is. It has been compared to a shark bite, even worse than a shark bite. People have had their scalps ripped off. They have been killed.
The American Civil Liberties Union found K-9s have severely injured or killed hundreds of Californians. Nearly half showed signs of mental health disability.
When you use an animal to attack a person, you are, to some extent, treating that person like prey.
SDPD K-9s have bit an unarmed, naked man, stayed latched onto someone already handcuffed, allegedly jumped a fence and attacked a mother with her 5-year-old.
You're never going to be able to ensure that that dog isn't going to attack the wrong person or not let go when they're supposed to, and the person has already surrendered. And we would never let an officer use a gun, for example, that would just randomly shoot every once in a while. Not very often, but every once in a while.
Recent California bills tried to limit the use of canines. Police campaigned against them. None of the bills succeeded. In 2020, Salt Lake City suspended the use of canines for apprehension. Researchers found no negative effect on officer or suspect safety. Chief Wall says the review of Evans' arrest will likely take months. Katie Hyson, KPBS News.